I'm not going to ask you a political question, sir, but since the comment has come from the political sphere, where you've had a very well-regarded senior politician, a role model for many, making a comment like this, saying Om, the chanting of Om doesn't strengthen yoga, and the chanting of Allah doesn't weaken yoga. An obvious, mischievous attempt to maybe communalize or polarize. Could you educate us for the next couple of minutes on the meaning of Om in yoga and why this comment is so inappropriate in your view?
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sankam Tyaktya Dhananjaya Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. So the whole concept of yoga means that number one, the first element is action. Number two, second element is knowledge. Third element is meditation. Fourth element is devotion. When all of these are dovetailed in offering our works, yoga karmasu kaushalam, to the Supreme, that principle of joining is technically known as yoga. The word Om is basically like the password. If you have access, if you need money from your ATM, you need to have your password. If you do not have password, then you cannot access that money. So therefore, in the mantras, which is basically various sound vibrations which help us access the energy and connection to the divine, these words have been revealed. So Om basically the offering of our consciousness to the Supreme Divine, and it is very much part of the expression of divinity. And the United Nations General Assembly, while resolving to observe June 21st as the World Yoga Day, they did it for 4 reasons. Number one, choice. They note that individuals and populations want to make healthier choices and want to have lifestyle patterns that foster good health.
Yeah.
Number two, they felt that good global health is a long-term objective that requires international cooperation. So the electric bulb was invented in America, but it is of use to people all over the world. So you can't call the bulb an American invention. So similarly, recognizing that yoga, which is from India, from Bharatvarsh, as part of Sanatan Dharma, it provides holistic approach to health and well-being. So therefore, to enable wider dissemination of information about the habits of practicing yoga, this yoga practice, which is very much part of our ancient texts like the Bhagavad Gita, like the Yoga Sutras, like all of these texts have been taken up. So you can't take one part and reject the other part. So these are all coming from our ancient Vedic texts, and you have to take it in total.
Okay. Anshul, this is a comment from one particular leader. This is by no means an official statement by the Congress party. But does the Congress party endorse this view? Because it seems provocatively framed and positioned, and most people are going to see it as mischievous, because there is a larger debate as far as yoga is concerned. But Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi has framed this statement in a manner that it provokes and polarizes.
Shiv, I would really urge you not to conflate what is a personal tweet with the philosophy of the Congress party. No, I am telling you, this does not reflect. First of all, we'll come to the tweet as well, and I'll give you a little background about what's happening and why that, what might have prompted that tweet.
Yes.
But let's not conflate what is a personal tweet, what is a personal opinion on Yoga Day for the larger, more complex position of the Congress party. I mean, it's not complex at all as far as yoga is concerned.
Yeah.
And as what was told to us, we understand the meaning of Om, whether it's academically, spiritually, or in matters of faith, the primordial sound, its appeal to the superconsciousness, all that is well understood. There is a steadfast commitment to the idea of yoga as an ancient science and can lead to a well-being among everyone on this globe. In fact, Mr. Singhvi himself has come out, Shiv, with a clarification on his own tweet, since he had to, because there seemed to be so much of an uproar. I think that the wording of the tweet has been exaggerated beyond its limitations. But he said that, I don't need any certificates from anyone to question what I believe in, which is not, I am not trying to create some kind of an insurmountable binary between Hinduism and Islam, if that is the case.
But he says yoga's power won't be reduced by taking Allah's name. How is that not a binary, Anshul? That is a binary. He's creating a binary.
Exactly, Shiv, precisely the opposite. that yoga observes no binaries as far as religion is concerned. In fact, the time when yoga came up, there was nothing like Hinduism. Hinduism is a modern construct. There was nothing like organized religion like you have in the Abrahamic sects. In Hinduism, at the time of the Upanishads, and there are people who are here who might know better than this, but I have done enough study to know that it existed as a matter of well-being, of appealing to the superconsciousness, of spirituality.
Okay.
Pursuit.
I take your point.
Yeah.
I take your point. The only reason why we're still focusing on this is because Abhishek Manu Singhvi is not, he's not nobody. He's a prominent leader. Things he says are taken seriously, and the fact is, the reason why he felt the need to say it, one can go on clarifying, but the very fact that he's a well-known lawyer, he's very articulate, and he meant what he said. Now, if someone like him felt the need to say this, then it warrants a certain amount of thought over why such a comment needed to be made.